Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're tuning in from the world. My name is Petra. If you don't know me yet, well, I guess you get to know me today. If you are joining me tonight, I am grateful that you're here, that you're taking the time off to actually be present here with us, learning about manifestation with healing. So before we go into the slides tonight, I have a question for you. I normally ask you all the programs that you're running and things that you do, but tonight I would actually like to ask you if you can tell me what is your perception or view of what manifestation really is for you. What does manifestation means to you? So you can pop it in the chat while I put all the slides up, because I would really like to know where we're starting before we move into new things. Oh no, I'll just stop sharing. Not the right one. Wrong one. Full screen. Yeah. This one. Is everybody seeing my slides? Thumbs up? Okay, perfect. So I'm just gonna do this one. And I am just going to bring, I knew something was wrong. Sorry. My sharing screen is not the way I would like to. Let me just organize that one, and then I'll look at the chat, because I really want to know what manifestation feels and means to you. Okay, perfect. It's much better. Okay, let's look at it. To bring things to reality. Yeah, that's quite wide. Stepping into the frequency of what we want to generate or create. I like this one. Being that energy. To be able to create my own reality. Okay, to take a dream vision into physical reality. Good answer. You're always creating your reality. Yes, that is true. A sign that something nice is going to happen. A sign that something nice is going to happen. Okay, that's an interesting perspective. To be able to call out our desires, become a reality. Okay, interesting. I like that we have different perceptions, which are similar, but in energy a bit different. So my question, let's look at that. Yeah. So let's look at, we are creating our reality all the time. And I agree with that. How do we do that? Well, we do that by just being us, by thinking, by feeling, by our actions. Yeah. That's how we do create our reality. Why is that so important? Well, if we are honest, yeah, when people say, I'm manifesting this, and I always stop and think, and I like to ask questions. So how do you do that? How do you know what you are manifesting? And does it just happen by chance? Does it, do you force it into the physical reality? Do you think so much about it that it just appears? Do you wave magic wands and they come to life? There's so many different perceptions of what manifesting really is. But I want to share my perception, and by all means, it's not exactly, if it's not, it doesn't resonate completely with you, that's perfectly fine. This is my experience in my world and how I manifested a lot of things in my life. Well, actually, everything, if I'm honest. And I can tell you a bit about where I was and where I am now. But it's really important to understand that, yes, we are always creating our reality, be it the things that we like, yeah, or the things that we don't like. We are creating both. And how are we doing that? Is when we looked at in the last year that we are layered beings, right? We are physical matter, yeah, that we can hold. Yeah, and then we have layers of energetic field around us. But in essence, we are existing in energy all the time. We are aware of some layers consciously, and we are unaware of the other layers that are more subconscious. But they all exist at the same time. And why is that important? When it comes to manifestation, we tend to think that we can manifest, that we only manifest things that we are conscious of. Well, things can manifest even from the unconscious level, and they normally manifest faster from the unconscious level. Why is that? Because the unconscious level of us is actually, if you would, everything's energy, but if you would look at the physical matter of the physical reality that we want to place things into, yeah, and the energetic part in the energetic field, the bioenergetic field, the layers of us, if we put those energies into different textures. So the physical reality is a denser energy, meaning that, you know, you can hold it, you can, it's thicker, yeah? And the energetic, the etheric energy is literally lighter, it's thinner, it's faster, yeah? So why is that important? Because when we are moving energy through the field, through the quantum field, which is the field of all possibilities, which energy do you think moves faster? The heavier or the lighter? The lighter energy, the one that's subconscious, actually moves faster. Because the thicker energy on the matter, yeah, needs a bit more time and space to move things forward, yeah? It's like rolling a big boulder, yeah? Or, you know, pouring water. That's kind of the analogy. So why am I talking about all this? It's because when we are manifesting, we tend to attach things, yeah? So when we say, I want this amount of money, or I want health in this kind of way, or I want this kind of relationship, or I want, you know, travel and this travel or this gift, right? And what we tend to do, we attach on it, yeah, our thought, we attach the thought, but we forget the other side of the equation, and we hold on to that thought and hold on to that vision that we want. And what happens when we are actually attaching to things, it's on a physical level, it's like we are suffocating things. Yeah. So imagine yourself in a flood and you are holding onto a tree and the water is literally running, and in like a few minutes, you're going to be swept away. So you need to do something, right? You need to let go in order to survive, to find a way to actually move somewhere safer. Yeah. So in this case, we actually don't realize that we are actually sabotaging our own manifestation. There's also other things that can sabotage our manifestation, and those are the unconscious part of us that are layers of us that we can call either ancestral energies, you know, you can call it previous lives, I believe it's parallel lives, but things that we kind of label as patterns, thought patterns, emotional patterns, things in our life that are not, what I like to call, not aligned with who we truly are in our essence. Yeah. So why am I saying that? Because majority of people think manifestation is about focusing on something, looking at something and visualizing it, you know, till you die, until you get it. Yeah. The way I see it, manifestation is the other way around. So everything in quantum field already exists. Nothing's new. All ideas that come out, that we have, all the innovations on a physical level that we say, oh my God, this is new, they already are present in the quantum field, because quantum field is a field of all possibilities. Yeah, they all exist already. So all the visions you get, or we get, all the dreams and all the things that you want and desires that you would like, they already exist in the quantum version of you. When we look at it that way, we can say, oh, wow, okay, so if everything is already present and everything already exists, so what am I doing if I'm not manifesting? Well, if we're not manifesting, we are actually unlearning and letting go and peeling the layers of who we are not. So we came, this is my experience, and I'm not saying that this is everyone's experience, but we come to a certain life with certain choices and decisions, and we are here to learn certain things. And we took on certain energies, emotional patterns, mental patterns, ancestral energies from the family we are born in. So we respond and react through the lens of those patterns. So it's like we have a different lens layering over our eyes, and we are responding and reacting in our environment based on that lens. In order to actually understand what that lens is, it's like a cloth or a cloak over your true essence. Imagine that you have this little bubble inside of you, that it's purely you. And then all these layers come over, yeah? And all of a sudden, this light gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and you get more suffocated, or you get health challenges and things like that, yeah? So our responsibility, and by responsibility, I mean ability to respond in a certain situation, we have the ability to actually say, do I want to respond this way? Do I want to think this way? Do I want to act this way? Do I want to actually make this decision still like I've used to, or do I want to change it? So based on that and our observations, we can decide what kind of life we are creating and who we want to become. So we can choose to stay and be who we are currently, with all the layers of different clothing and different layers of colors over us that might not be us, or we can choose to let go of that and become who we truly are. And that means we are now literally becoming a different person. We are becoming ourselves, but in this moment, it feels like we are becoming a different person. That means we are opening up the doors to this theater of life that is bringing us different choices, different decisions, different situations, different challenges, and different experiences in life. So how do we get from where we are? For example, let's say that we have, a health challenge, yeah? And I can share this from my story as well. We're not going to label anything, but I almost died when I was 20, and told by many doctors, that I shouldn't be here, that I will never have kids, I will never have, that I'll live with the pain that I had for forever, yeah? But I could see myself, like my body, my heart was feeling inside of me. I could see this vision of me being healthy without all those labels that doctors were telling me. But I didn't know the timeline. I just trusted that that is the true version of me. And because I saw that, because I felt that, I was actually focusing on that element and moving myself forward towards that vision and towards that image and feeling that I had in my body, in order to actually change myself completely and become a different person. And that person today is who I am and who I saw, well, now it's 20 years ago. So I didn't know the timing, but I knew that that version of me existed. And I kept my eye and my feeling on that vision. Why am I saying this? Because when we try to manifest anything, what we're doing is we are changing ourselves completely. We are moving into a completely different person. So if you want to manifest a great business, or thriving business, or thriving health and vitality, or beautifully connected and heartfelt relationships, whatever it is that you would like, you will be a completely different person when you actually receive that than you are right now in this moment. And I'm not talking about just small bits and pieces. yeah, you will start thinking differently, feeling differently, acting differently. You might even look completely differently. So it's really important to understand that coming from this point onwards, if you want to create anything, you need to understand that you will need to let go of the person and character that you are right now. And that brings grieving, yeah, and that brings loss in your body because we are so used to being where we are currently. And if we are attached to this person and we're not willing to let go, we will never manifest what we really want and need, yeah, and really feel within our body we can. So basic law of manifestation from my experience. Ooh, okay. Quantum field exists, and we all know exists because Healy actually scans it, yeah? And we can now read it. So if we can read it, all possibilities exist there. So how do we get in touch with that field? There's two things we actually have in our power, and that is our thought and our emotion. So the thought, think of thoughts as rockets of energy, like messengers, sending all these messages to this quantum field. Yeah, so they are one directional, moving into the quantum field, sending the messages of what you want and what you would like and what is actually, let's say they're like connected lines that are coming from your body into the field. Yeah, and they actually hold an electrical charge. So electrical charge means that it's energy that has electricity, and electricity actually carries the message. Yeah, and this is what we call the intention. So intention without the emotion is just a message. So it's a one-way communication. So if we want to actually create something on a physical level, we need to bring that feedback of that information back into the physical reality. So how do we do that? We do that with emotion. So think of emotions are like turbochargers for your rockets, yeah, for your thoughts. And they actually reverse the charge and bring it, they're like magnets, yeah, they attract things back to you. They're feedback from the thoughts in the quantum field. They can also attract and repel elements. Why? Because if you think of it differently, for example, you have a suppressed emotion of fear, and you actually don't really know where it's coming from. You just feel it's fear, but you don't know what to do with it. Yeah. That fear in your body might be from ancestrals. Yeah. Ancestral, like your parents, grandparents, 14 lines. Yeah. Back in your body. You might not even be aware of it, but it's still vibrating in your field and it's sending a message. And not only a message, because it's an emotional energy and an emotional charge, meaning it's a magnet and it attracts certain things into your life. For example, I had a friend years ago and something happened to her. I can't share that, but let's say it's like it would be a car accident. Yeah. And she was always really good to people. She really was giving all the time and loving people. And she has a beautiful heart. But this huge thing happened, and we had this conversation, and she was asking me, why does this happen to me? Like, I give so much, I love so much, I put all this positive energy out, but this happened to me and I feel like I'm being robbed. Yeah. So the things that are happening in our life are meant to happen they're actually meant there for a reason. So imagine emotions that are stuck in the body, they're like magnets. So they're attracting situations into your life in order for you to actually see the charge of this energy, in order to transform this charge of the energy in the body so you can become your true self. So we tend to think of negative situations as a bad thing. But what they are, they're literally helping you to transform what you want to, they're like where you want to go, but you need to transform first things that are subconsciously affecting your outcome. So there's things that might happen that you will not understand and you think that, are bad things, but they're not bad. Nothing is bad or good anyway. So everything is happening for you in order to become who you want to become, because you set an intention of doing that. And the pathway towards the outcome might be completely different from what you imagined. So I really would encourage you to detach from the perception or the vision of how the journey should be, and also detach from the outcome, what you should receive. Because it normally 99% of time in my experiences is that you receive more than you actually envision you would. And this is where the trust comes in. And feeling of the experience or the emotion, an emotional experience within our body right now of the outcome in the future that we are trying to create is crucial. Because if we are setting an intention of, I don't know, I want this beautiful, heartfelt relationship, and I will be happy when that relationship comes into my life. That doesn't work. So we need to actually have the experience within our body already right now, feeling grateful and loving and open the heart and, you know, literally becoming that person that we want to be in that relationship. Because we are now setting not only an intention, but setting things in motion in order to actually open up the doors for the right energy, the right frequency to actually start attaching and connecting to us, so we can shift the environment around us. So these are literally the basics. Yeah. Easier said than done. Yeah. We need to really practice through meditation is best, because that's where we actually connect to our true self and we come back to the body. So this is my mini protocol. This is my personal protocol. After this, we're actually going to do a live session. I have a beautiful niche today, Nisha, sorry. And we're going to do a live coaching session, and I'm going to show you why. So when we are actually doing the manifestation, the intention is really important. So clear affirmation, clear intention sentences are really important, because we are sending that message out into the quantum field, and you really need to be aware of what you are attracting. So clear communication and really work on that intention. And if you actually start working with intention in the coaching model, and I'll show you how, what happens is, if you start getting things in your life that might be a bit off from what you want, you need to come back to the intention and tweak the intention in order to actually get the right results that you want. Then we had the envisioning practice that we had a few weeks back. And I like to use the envisioning practice to actually get the clear intention, because then we know what we actually feel within the body, what feels right for us. And out of that envisioning practice, I would create an intention, because then I would know what the emotion is within the body and how I feel, and I would put it together into the intention for affirmation. When we have that, visualization through meditation is really important. Spending time in the space of our own energetic field, connecting to our true self, if you want to call it higher self, if you want to call it your essence, whatever you want to call it, but the quantum field of you. And this is not just woo-woo, this is, Joe Dispenza that actually proved now that, spending time in meditation and actually focusing on the envisioning and visualizing and actually having the emotional experience within the body creates an effect in the physical reality. But we need to actually create space for that. So having an emotional experience through meditation and staying that feeling as more often throughout the day will actually give you an open door to the pathway and of least resistance, as well as emotions. So make sure that even throughout the day, you actually are observing where you are emotionally. So how are you responding? How are you reacting? Or are you reacting? Are you responding to the environment or people around you? Because this is where you're going to actually start shifting your frequency of the emotion and getting you closer to where you want to go. Now we come to the fun part, yeah, which is peeling off the layers with our Healy coaching model. So, you know, the things that are suppressed in our energetic field, things that we can't actually see, we can also only see them and feel them and experience them when we are actually faced with a mirror, when we are actually faced with a trigger from another person or from a situation in our environment. So we can actually, I don't like to say bypass it because it's not true, because we need to work on it, because there's no one else that will transform this for us. We still need to do the work. It's through Healy coaching model. So we actually need to unlearn and shift the frequency within our energetic field in order to become who we truly are. And that means that we need to transform fear into courage. We need to transform anger into compassion. Yeah. So we need to actually shift the emotional charge. And it needs to happen on a body, physical level. Yeah. So our action is the physical level. So how we are acting, responding to the environment, our mind, how we're thinking about a certain situation, person, issue, what kind of emotional charge we have around it, and how do we utilize our energy. So these are energetic boundaries. Are we giving our energy away, or are we actually holding it within our body and not getting entangled into the triggers around us? So these are the basics. If you have any questions, pop them in. And now I would like to invite Nisha. Is it Nisha? I'm not sure. Just pop your hand up so I can actually unmute you. And I'll just stop sharing. Oh, perfect. Yep. So I'm just going to unmute you. Here we go. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Perfect. Lovely to meet you, Nisha. Is it Nisha or Nish?
Nisha.
Nisha. Perfect. Perfect. So, Nisha and I had been communicating a bit earlier, so we can actually do this faster. So she sent me her intention, and I will actually start sharing the screen so you can understand how to do that. Okay. Please let me know if you can see my phone. Can you see my phone? Thumbs up?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, perfect. No. Okay, no. Let's try again. Let's try again and see if here. Is everybody seeing my phone now? Yeah, perfect. Okay. So Nisha and I were creating some things before our session tonight. And in order to actually have a great scan tonight, we created a clear intention for her on what she would like to work on and what she would like to manifest. So we use coaching model in our Healy analyst app, which is the blue app, yeah, the blue wave app. And we go on the bottom and it says coach. So this is our coaching model, yeah? And we created this, sorry. And in here, you could either choose a preset intention that you would like to work with. Ideally, it would be the intention that you create yourself, yeah? So I'm just gonna paste the intention. Great. Come on, here you go. This is the intention that Nisha chose. I am happy and grateful now that financial abundance is overflowing every aspect of my life, and I'm helping my team and people around me to grow and be healthy through healing. Thank you, God, for blessing me with these gifts. So the more clear the intention is in the present moment, think of it like this has already happened. You already are living it. Yeah. And you're literally expressing gratitude for everything that you already have. Yeah. So the clearer the intention, the better the results will be. Yeah. So coaching model, what it does, it actually scans your energetic field, yeah, and your quantum field. So it actually helps you to understand, based on this intention, where you're doing great and something to actually be proud of and actually vibrate that more so you're more aligned with it, or where you are actually sabotaging yourself. What energy is present in your field that is preventing you to actually be living as this person? Yeah. So we're going to now scan. We're going to start the analysis. I'm just going to connect Healy. And Nisha, I just want you to think of this intention, and I'll think of you, and then we're going to scan. So have that intention in your heart and in your mind. Okay. So coaching model comes up with different areas of your life. Yeah. This is the success as well as the life coach. Yeah. Combination. So this is on a professional. So this is everything a coaching model offers. So it will show you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Am I writing? 10 areas of your life. Yeah. And if you can see, there's different colors. Yeah. So you have the orange, you have the yellow, you have the green, and there's different circles. See how there's like small circles like dots, and one of them is, see how these are the outside dots, and then you have these lines around like the circles, the gray circles. Yeah. So the if you look at one area, the more it's colored towards the outside center, away from the center, the more you have worked on this area. Yeah. And the less color in it, the closer to the middle center, yeah, the less energy you've put into it. Yeah. So it still needs a bit more energy in development. So you obviously have done a lot on your goals. Yeah. So you've done a lot of your goals, what you would like. The lowest one, so everything else is quite even, except for the finance and potentials that you've done a bit more work on that. But the lowest one that with this intention that came up is actually social relationships. Yeah. So let's see what Healy is actually showing us where you currently need the most work or putting most energy into in order to actually be manifesting yourself who you are in that with that intention. So we're going to continue here, and we're going to choose. So you can then choose here either. So there's a lot of them. Yeah, you can either choose 1, 2, 3, 4, how many you want. Yeah, so we're going to leave two of them of each area of the social relationships. So we'll see 2 patterns of each area that will come up that resonate the most with you currently. Yeah. So we're just going to scan that one, and we just focus on our breath and the intention again. And we're going to scan this. Okay. So now we go and we actually read it. So the numbers at the top, you can click on them and it will tell you what it is. You can read basics in the Healy itself. But they do have the same potencies and the same interpretation as we actually did for the chakras. So you can use the cheat sheet that Katie Chisholm actually shared with us. It's in our group. You can actually use the same cheat sheet with the potencies at the top to actually interpret your own coaching session. Yeah. So let's look at what's coming up for you at the top. It's coming up as a personal integrity. Please let me know if this resonates or not. I have no idea, I have no idea of your life or who you are. So I'm literally just reading what Healy comes up with. And it is 98% relevant. Yeah. So this is really high currently in your life that needs attention. The number 4 tells me, so that's the intensity. It tells me that is quite in your subconscious level. So you haven't actually brought it up to your conscious level. Anything under 5, I would say that you might be aware of it, but you haven't really mastered it yet. Yeah. And the C6 means the emotional charge. So there's the lower the number, the 6 is low, means that there is a small emotional charge in the body. Yeah, that is actually energetic body that's preventing the energy to, flow and come in. Yeah. So let's see what it is. I live in personal integrity. My words and behavior are in alignment. I resist the hypocritical values of the system and have the courage to define my own values so that I am healthy and happy and give my life its meaning. So this is what I would say. Like, are you honest with yourself? Are you actually, what you're saying, you're actually also doing? And even if you believe something against someone, like your opinion is different than yours, yeah, someone else's opinion is different than yours, would you still follow through, even if it means that it might cause a conflict? Yeah. Would you stand in integrity in your beliefs, although it might rock the boat? Yeah. That also means that it could mean, I'm not saying that, it could mean that your boundaries might not be strong enough. Yeah. So you might allow other people's opinions to influence you. That could also be. Is there anything that resonates with this?
Yes, to a great extent.
Okay. Okay, let's move forward. So we have the 91, so that's all 90. So this one's 3, again in the subconscious, boundaries and team spirit, and we're moving forward. So Ella means your mental and spiritual beliefs. So how you are actually seeing and thinking about a certain situation. Yeah. I optimize, so this is desired state. I optimize the relationship between boundaries and team spirit. I recognize the unconscious causes that led me to withdraw or separate myself from my environment. Yeah. So this could also be, I'm aware of myself and recognize my true values, optimization of my self-esteem and self-confidence. Okay. So I would say that boundaries are important, right? So if we don't have our own boundaries, I would say that subconsciously we can withdraw. We can actually be a bit more introvert because we can't assert ourselves. We can't speak up. We can't actually express what we want and what we need. And we actually don't set clear boundaries. So we interpret certain things in our environment as a threat. So we then move away, we withdraw from the environment, and we actually withdraw our energy and we don't connect with people because based on our mental patterns of how we see the environment and people around us. So for that, we actually need to build up the self-esteem and self-confidence in order to actually speak up our truth, yeah, and our beliefs and our values, what is really true to us and what means a lot to us. Yeah. Does this resonate at all?
Very much.
Okay. Okay, so then we have self-love and altruism. This one is still high. It's 89% relevant right now. It is in your subconscious level, yeah, because it's 3, so things to work on. It's also an emotional charge within the body. So something happened in the past, whatever happened, and the emotional energy was not actually processed and expressed. So let's look at what it was. I practice love of self and altruism. I recognize the unconscious causes that led to my lacking will to love myself. I have the willpower and create love from within. I am filled with an optimal will to love myself. So my question to you would be, how do you love yourself? How do you show yourself the love? How do you act on that belief? Do you take care of yourself, not just physically, but do you set your boundaries? Do you actually do what you actually what you say? Do you do things for yourself? Do you speak up when things are not okay? Do you actually ask for things that you need? That's also self-love. Yeah. So all of that comes from a belief within us that we are either not deserving of love, or either we are lacking love and we can't get love elsewhere. Actually, we can't get love within ourselves, so we look for the love elsewhere, outside of us. Yeah. But that love never fills us up, right? So we then always disappointed, and then we withdraw. Yeah. So then we are hurt and we never get satisfied and filled with love that we need. Yeah. How is loving yourself in your life currently?
Well, I don't speak for myself. I don't speak up for myself.
Okay, so you don't speak up at all.
I don't speak up for myself.
Okay. So, and does that cause frustration within your body? Does that cause anger?
Not really. I just let it go. I just leave it.
Okay. But how does your body feel?
Maybe stressed a little.
Yes. Okay. So we can suppress the emotion through our head and say, oh, it's fine. Yeah. But it's actually not fine. We're actually suppressing it within our body and think we are letting it go. But what we're doing, we are actually pushing that energy into the field, and that is attracting things into our environment that we don't want. Yeah. So the sooner we actually look at that energy, the sooner we resolve it, the sooner we actually accept it and embrace it, the faster we're going to get to the result that we want. Yeah. So your intention was to create financial abundance and help people and all of that. So in order to help, you need to love yourself. In order to help others and create the financial flow, because financial flow is just energy. Yeah. It's your energy. So how much energy can you hold within your body? So how is your health? Can you actually hold the energy within your body? How is your mental strength? Are you able to actually create boundaries in order to have space around you to hold this energy in this container? Yeah. How can you help others if your cup is not full? Because if you're coming from an empty cup, you can't help others. Yeah. So we help others by leading by example. That means you need to love yourself first. Yeah. Before you actually fill up that cup. Okay, another self-love and altruism, 85%, again in the subconscious, also mental and spiritual belief, but it is an emotional charge in the mental and spiritual belief. I practice love of self and altruism. I recognize the unconscious causes that led me to reject myself as a woman or a man, in this case, a woman. I accept my gender whole gratitude. I give myself to the attributes and characteristics of my gender in an unbiased and loving way and express them optimally. I am creator of God as he wants to see me. So this, sometimes the translations are a bit stressful. Yeah. So I would say this is, how are you feeling as a woman? Yeah, in your body. Are you accepting yourself as a woman? Yeah. Are you loving yourself as a woman? Are you proud of yourself of being a woman? Yeah. And are you rejecting your physical body and who you are as a person and wanting to be someone else? That sometimes we put masks on. Yeah. That's okay. There's few things that, can be. So that's something that could be. Is there something that resonates, something that comes up for you that might be relevant to this?
No, I accept myself as a woman. I love myself. Yeah, that way.
Okay. So it might be that you're not really, so this is quite in subconscious. So it could be a wound that, was passed down through generations. It's not ancestral, but it is within your body. It could be on a deeper level that might not resonate with you currently. Yeah. Then we have boundaries and team spirit. This is -74. So I have my negative relevances in. So this is really in the subconscious. Yeah. So really deep into the subconscious, and it is in your quite deep in subconscious, and this is actually ancestral. So this is 612, your grandparents. Yeah, so the D1E24 means actually grandparents. So this is the energy of your grandparents. Maybe something to look at what happened, you know, in their life. It's saying, I optimize the relationship between boundaries, right? I recognize the unconscious causes that led me to try to feel complete through association with other people, and thereby identify too strongly with their feelings and sensitivities. So it's saying I'm filled with wholeness within me, and I'm wholeness in harmonizing love. Yeah, so it might have been that, I don't know what your history with your grandparents is, but it might have been in this situation that they needed to please others and not be themselves in order to survive. They also, you know, thought that they can't exist if they don't have other people around and to complete them. Yeah, so they can't be whole themselves. They need to feel themselves and their love through other people. Yeah. So do you have any idea if that's something that was present within your grandparents?
No idea. I was too small when they expired.
Okay, so it could be the cultural thing as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so things that come from the culture when we're growing up and things like that. But that is something that's quite in the subconscious in the body, and it is coming from your grandparents. So it is present in the body, and it is stopping you from actually being fully you, yeah, and embracing the financial freedom. And then the last one is minus 90, which is quite deep. But so you see how this one is minus 90, but the intensity is 8. So that means that the energy itself, yeah, was quite deeply suppressed in the body. But you have been working with this energy for a while. So you are slowly, you know, it's like grinding, yeah, and chipping away the rock, yeah, slowly and slowly working with this energy. It is an emotional charge in the body, and it says, I live in personal integrity. My words and behavior are in alignment. I consciously recognize in myself the aspects in which I need to mature in my integrity. So it would mean that how are you taking personal responsibility in your life? Are you becoming independent? Are you actually choosing the actions in your life that are making you independent? Are you actually choosing your values and your integrity beyond anyone else's? Yeah. And have you been working with this for a while?
Yes. Yes,
Yes.
true.
True. Okay. So you are aware of it, and it is in your life, and it's something that you're building, and that's perfect, right? So nothing happens overnight. It's the journey. Even we want to have an instant manifestation, yeah, in our life, and instant healings. In order for that to happen, we actually need to become a completely different person. And we need to actually let go of all the past and all the connections from the past of that person that we used to be, and become a completely different person in order to embrace that instant manifestation. Yeah. So from my perspective of looking at what's coming up, and based on your intention of what you would like to create, in order to open up the financial flow with your team and helping others, and receiving and embracing all those gifts in your life, you really need to work on self-love, boundaries, and who you are, your values, your integrity, yeah, your words and actions. So meaning that when you say something, your actions need to match that. They need to be aligned. So those things are really important. One thing we could do from here onwards is we could use this scan and we can vibrate it. What I love to do is I choose one scan, and you can work with it for a week, you can work with it for a month, yeah, whatever you would like to. And I would vibrate this daily. And then I would normally use other programs to support me. For example, if I would see that things are like really in the subconscious, right? Like low numbers, like 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, intensity, right? These are the numbers, the second number, yeah, so this one, yeah. If I would see the numbers are really low, then I would actually use for example, a program like release. Yeah. Release in the gold cycle, to actually help to move the energy, the old stagnant energy out. Or pure, for example. Yeah. Pure is a program as well that's really beautiful to actually help the energy move. And then I would vibrate this coaching list, yeah, either once a day, or you can do 3 times a day or 8 times a day, whatever you like. Yeah. So 8 times a day would be 37 seconds. 3 times a day you would do 1:20. Or you can do like 5-6 minutes per day, once a day. Yeah. And I would use that. And then I would actually have a program. If you have a Mag Healy, there's a prosperity program on the Mag Healy. I would use that to actually move the energy while I'm releasing, bringing new energy in to transform and open up the doors for the prosperity. I have a specialized program for prosperity. If you have something that will help you with that, you can do that too. And then I would evaluate. So I would maybe choose a week or maybe choose a month. And then I would scan again after a week or a month. And then I would actually compare the numbers. So see how you have the 91% here, yeah? And then you have number 3 and LM, and number 6 in Roman numbers. So I would actually go and see if the patterns are coming up again after a week or a month, yeah? And I would actually go, okay, so if the patterns are the same, but the numbers are changing, so instead of 91%, it's now 68%. That means that the energy is actually shifting within your energetic field and within your body. Yeah. So the more you're going to do it, the lower the number will be. Yeah. And when the pattern goes out of the list, is not present anymore, so you don't have to work with it anymore. Yeah. So it's persistence and consistency with the energy itself. And then, of course, observing yourself in the environment and seeing how you respond to certain things, and then bringing a pattern, like, for example, self-love, yeah, a pattern of how you love yourself and where you don't love yourself, and bringing that to a conscious level of what you're doing and what you are not doing, and addressing that on a physical level while you are shifting the energy within the body, yeah, the energetic bodies, and observing how the energy changes and observing how you respond to the environment will actually help you to understand and see the changes that are actually happening in real life in your environment. Does that make sense? Okay. Any questions on this one? I'll just vibrate this for you. So I'll just give you 1:20. Yeah, perfect. So I'll just start this one for you while we are talking. So I'll stop sharing and I'll go and see if there's any. Nisha, do you have any questions around your scan currently?
No, fine.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you. So you're happy with the scan? You resonate with it?
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Perfect. And do you have your Healy Blue app at home? Like, do you have an analysis app?
Yes.
Yeah. And are you using your coaching program at all at home?
Yes. Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Good. Thank you. Thank you for being. Sorry.
I can run the same coaching here, right?
Sorry.
I can run this here in mine. The same focus what you did now. I can run it.
Yeah. Correct. I've sent you the focus, so you can just copy paste it from the messenger and pop it into the Healy. Yes, of course. Perfect. Thank you, Nisha, for volunteering.
Thank you.
And being vulnerable. Perfect. Okay, questions. Okay. Let's see. So I can go in here. Yeah. Vibrant frequency healing. You have your hand up.
Yeah. Hi, this is Sheetal. I'm from Dubai. I wanted to know, Petra, first of all, fantastic session. I mean, brought so much of more insight with the coaching model. I want to understand that if we put an intention and if you're running it for a month, right? And then maybe some energies have moved, but your intention actually has not been achieved. So what is the timeline to keep on doing the affirmations? Like, I have one affirmation which is going on for 3 months, and there are energies that have shifted, right? So should I stop or should I continue the same intention?
Continue the same intention. Because as I said, quantum field doesn't have time. Physical reality has time. But we need to understand that as we said, right, this is you now with the intention. And depending on what the intention is and how much big of a gap on a physical level it is between who you are right now and who you want to become with the intention that you've set. So if the gap is this small, then you're going to see really fast results. But if the gap is this big and you can't see it on the camera, so that means that you'll need to do a lot of work, and you're going to need to look at different layers of yourself in order to shift. So I will share my physical experience, right? When I almost died and I had to actually shift my whole health, I needed to become a completely different person. I had no people, no doctors that would actually help me the way I would want to, the way I was feeling that I'm capable of doing things. So I actually had to start researching and doing my own work on myself. So I had no one to guide me, really. I had few people in between that I'm so grateful for, that came onto my journey and really helped me heal, guide me into my healing, because my body did the healing. I was just observing the situation and shifting the energy and the patterns of the emotions and the mental patterns and my body's support. And it took me almost 10 years to actually heal. So we need to understand, but I also was carrying certain things from my ancestors, and I was literally depleting my body, and I went through a war, so there was a lot of stress in my body, for 20 years. So we need to understand that with the right support, right? We need to understand that we need to look at, if it's health, we need to shift our perception of how we see our body as not sick, but, healthy. And then how we actually are feeling about our body and the situation, emotionally, how we are using and utilizing our energy within our body, and also on a physical level, how are we supporting our body in order to create an environment in order for our body to heal? Because if we want to be healthy, but at the same time we're eating the same things, we are creating the same environment, and we are expecting for us to be healed, it's not going to happen. Nothing in the world and nothing in quantum field can do that, because everything is a choice. If you want, if your intention is to have a relationship, for example, and you had a really bad relationships in the past, and you come from a really abusive family, then there's been a long timeline of energies that were not supportive of who you would like to become and a relationship that you would like to have. So that might be some time that will be needed in order for you to shift yourself into being of who you would like to be. So as I said at the beginning, my advice, and this is just my advice, don't take it as, this is how it is. Detach from the timeline. Focus on the vision of who you want to become. See yourself in that space. So give me, for example, give me an example of what is it that you would like to create?
It's basically financial, and we are looking at selling our property, and there are some things which are going wrong in that. So energies have shifted and we've come very close to it, right? So what was happening is, when I started putting the intention, I used to put, okay, in the month of November, it has happened. So it didn't happen. So on the 1st of December, I would go, okay, now in December, it has happened, right? So I was putting a timeline to it. When we came to January, so something wrong I'm doing, and that's what I want to understand from you.
So we can't control on a physical level the timeline, because we can only control our frequency. So my advice would be to shift the intention that you're putting into your coaching model into, for example, I am happy and grateful now that our property has sold for more that for the value of more that we are actually asking that, you know, it's sold to people that will love the property that we are selling, and that, you know, we are blessed with the gifts. So you are literally not putting any timeline on it. You are putting a feeling of how it will feel when you actually sell it.
Makes sense. Great.
Yeah. So you're not attaching to the outcome, and you're not attaching to, you know, how you want it to be, because we, from a 3D point of view, we have this limited view. Quantum field is this. So why limit ourselves? I know it's challenging from an ego standpoint, because ego wants to control and attach, and, you know, we want to have this, but in reality, that might not be the perfect thing for us. So we need to step back and go, okay, I want to sell this property and I want to feel this way. And how do I feel when I actually sell this property? And when I do this and pop this into the healing coach model and actually envision myself selling and having, you know, giving away the keys and seeing the money come in, I get goosebumps, and really feeling that emotion, you might be surprised, because it might happen faster than you think. Because you're now opening up the doors and you're not attaching to anything. So it's the same thing. So for example, if you say this is money, and I say, okay, I don't have money. I need money. I can't do this, right? So do you think any money can come in?
No.
Nothing can come in, yeah? But if I say I have money and money goes away, but I'm not afraid, I'm not contracting. So I'm saying, yeah, it's okay. It's fine. I'm investing, so new money comes in. So now the space is open in order for something new to come in. We are not gods. Yeah. Only God, universe creator, actually knows what's the right thing for us.
True.
So instead of actually us controlling from this stand of point of view, like seeing a small dot, yeah, somebody else has a bird's eye view. They see what we need and what we want and how we can get it the fastest way. We just need to trust and focus on the feeling, on the emotion of achieving it, instead of actually, you know, wanting control of everything. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So generally also say, of course, that what I asked for the property was, of course, for my husband, and we're doing the intentions from his profile basically. And I was continuously doing for the Healy business, you know, and now I understood where I was going wrong, because I was, I think, putting the timeline. And what I need to do is remove the timeline and just put the feeling, what would feeling with what I want to achieve. And that's because I knew there's something going wrong, because energies are shifting, but I am not reaching my goal. And I mean, I love the Healy to death, because it has changed my life so much, you know, and I'm like, this thing also has to work, and there's something wrong. So thank you so much.
Timelines out, attachment to any outcomes that you think that this is how it needs to happen. And also visualize, going to meditation and visualize the feeling in the intention in your body. So you need to feel it like you already have it. Yeah. You have to have that experience. Okay, perfect. Thank you for your question. You're welcome. Let me just mute you here. And Kujbo, is that correct? I have no idea if I pronounced that correctly. Is it Kushbo?
Yes, no? And it is correct. Yes,
Kushbo. Oh my God!
Yes.
That is an amazing name. I pronounced it great. I'm proud of myself.
That means fragrance. That means fragrance.
Fragrance. Wow. In what language?
Khushbu is Hindi. I'm from
Hindi.
India.
Beautiful.
From Pune.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. What is your question?
So my question here is that, you know, while, you know, I'm a certified healer and a life coach, and what we had learned till now was that, you know, we need to have a clear intention. Clear intention, the more clear, more specific we are, we manifest it more easily. Now, today I was introduced to a new thing when I attended this session, that we need to remove timeline. And prior to this, we were asked to put up a timeline. So I'm a bit confused here because they also...
You can put the timeline in if you want to, but I would love you to explore without the timeline, because the ego mind then attaches this to this box. Yeah. And then we pressure ourselves. Oh, it needs to be at this point. It needs to be to this point. It needs to be to this point. Right. And then we push, and we actually contract. So I would love you to have this feeling of play and exploration like a child, and actually let go of everything else and just be surprised. Because when you actually master this feeling and how to actually invoke the feeling within your body and work with that, then you can add the timeline, because you will know the difference. You will discern what is the ego and what is actually your inner feeling, your intuition, your inner voice. Yeah. Because if we are coming from a space of contraction, we normally allow our ego to guide us. Yeah. We don't actually trust our intuition as much. And we're all humans, we learn. Yeah. No matter how far and how long you've been using your intuition, since I was 7 years old, and I still sometimes mess up. Yeah. So we need to understand that we are learning all the time, especially when our emotions are at stake, like when we are involved with our own emotions, creating something for ourselves. What happens is we can be blind. Yeah. There's like this foggy feeling. Yeah. So that's why I always say, detach from everything, practice detachment, and allow the energy to come by itself. Because if you're already there with your emotion, the timeline might be faster than the one you wanted.
Okay. Got
Yeah.
it.
So we don't know.
Makes too much of sense, and I really feel aligned to it. Here I wanted to understand one more thing, that in case we don't have any timeline, and we put up I mean, you had said that we want to feel it as if we already have it. So when we are doing this, we feel really good, and we get into that meditative state very fast, because I have explored this for myself. But at the same time, I also feel a lot of contradiction, and the questions coming from the analytical mind, when we do something like this. So any suggestions to stop that analytical thoughts which comes, a critic minds come up with, a little voice inside us tells that, we are faking, we are, just doing something which is not correct. It is not really real, it's not truth. So how do we suppress this little voice and focus on something which we really want to manifest in our life? Any tips for, just avoiding, our little voice, the present reality, actually, which
Well,
pops in.
welcome to the human experience, right? So this is human, this is completely normal, and everybody has that. And there is no perfection. That's all I will say. There is no perfection. If I would, people say to me, well, how did you do your life? Like, I'm not a millionaire or whatever people have as a success, right? But I've almost died and I healed myself. And, I've been through a war when I was 8 years old, and, I came out alive. And, this things that I've created, moved continents and created a completely different life, right? And I've done it with my intuition and through my belief in what I was seeing and feeling. But the challenge is not the negative thoughts. The challenge is for you focusing on what you want instead of what you don't want. So it's not about eliminating things, it's about embracing things. So when, for example, this is what I do. So if I'm in meditation, I try not to control the thoughts. I try to just let them through, and I'm just in an observer view. So if a thought comes in and I go, I don't know, I need to make bread. Like, this is basic stuff, but there's stuff coming in, or you don't deserve this, or you don't do this, so why would you want to? But who you are that you actually want this, right? So all of that negative chatter that comes in, what I tend to do is I take a deep breath and go, thank you for showing yourself. I love you for who you are, and thank you for showing yourself, because you are part of me and I love you for who you are. And I know that this is how we used to actually approach things, and I know that this is how we used to feel, but I'm choosing differently now. But thank you for letting me know. Thank you for showing yourself and for letting me know that you're still present in my body. And I love you
Wow.
and I embrace you, and you are loved for who you are. Because what we are doing, we are reparenting our own self. The things
Yes.
that, the beliefs that are coming from somewhere are coming from the lack of love. They're coming from the things that we were denied or things that we thought we never had. Yeah. So instead of eliminating things and, doing the way the normal Western world does, cut everything out. Yeah. Let's embrace things. Let's embrace the shadow part of us. Let's say, this is a part of me and I love you, because if you're thinking that way, you're probably lacking love and you're lacking the hug and you're lacking whatever. And I normally just, if there's a lot of negative things coming up, I allow myself to scream and cry and whatever needs to come out. And then I hug myself and I love myself and I give myself the pat on the back. And, I tell myself how proud I am for small things that I've achieved, and that I'm doing my best and I'm having a human experience and I'm just on this journey. So it's not, in my view, it's not about eliminating. It's not about, pushing things away. It's about embracing it and becoming whole again, right? Because if we
Wow.
are particles here and there, then we need to kind of join them together to become whole.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for a wonderful explanation. I think you connected the
welcome.
dots which I wanted to connect. God bless
You're
you.
welcome. You're
Thank you
welcome.
so
Thank
much.
you for the question.
Thank you
Okay,
so
let me
much.
see. Let me see. There's chat blowing up, so I'm just gonna run through it to see if there's anything else. Oh, really? Voices. Oh, I'm so sorry. How to really let go from the level of body without suppressing. Yes, thank you, Onkar. Movement helps. So anything that is suppressed in the physical body, I would suggest any movement. If you do walks, yoga, fascia releases, so fascia movements are really, really good. They actually work with the electricity in the body. The negative percentages. Okay, so as I said, the negative percentages, you can actually adjust that in your phone. So there's settings that you can adjust in your phone. I love to have negative relevances because I've been working on myself for so long. So when I actually scan myself just on positive relevances, it does not come up a lot. It's just saying. So I like to go to negative relevances so I can actually see what's in the subconscious that I need to work on. So my scans are normally one positive relevance and then the rest is negative. So that's for me. But I forgot to turn it off for tonight, but that's okay. That's what came up and it obviously was meant to be. You can do that in your phone. Let me just see if I can actually share this with you. Okay, in your Healy, so I'll just show you here with the coaching. Okay, so you go into settings. Oh, come on. Settings, and it is, I think, advanced settings. And then you have options. So include negative relevances, this one. You can just turn it on, and you have other options as well that you can change in your settings, and it will show you what you can do and what you can't do. But this is the negative relevances you can actually change in your settings. So this is for anything that is deeply in your subconscious. So what does that mean? So as we said last year, we were looking at the layers of your body. Yeah. So anything that's really deep, and deep means throughout all your layers of your energetic body. Yeah. So it was so intense in a shock form that was actually reaching throughout the entire body. Yeah. Because it was the shock wave through the body. And it actually doesn't show up if it's closer to the physical body, because it's deeper into the layers of the aura. Yeah, if you're going to look at that way. So the negative relevances are actually showing up things that are closer to the quantum field, not just in the auric field, but closer to the quantum field, yeah, deeply suppressed. So if you have not worked with yourself a lot, and if you have not worked with coaching model a lot, I would advise you to not use the negative relevances, because otherwise it will not resonate with you and you will not do anything good. You're going to shock your body even more. So we want to work with things that are on a conscious or lower in the subconscious level. So things that you resonate with, things that you can bring into your conscious level, because when something is in awareness, your energy automatically starts shifting. Yeah, because if you're not resonating with it, if you actually can't find it, you can't relate to it, you can't actually pinpoint where that's coming from, it's not going to come into your conscious awareness, so you can't work with it. Things will not come in your environment in order for you to shift them. Hope this makes sense. Yeah, no forcing. Yeah, force closes things, just to let you know. So if you're pushing at things and you want them faster, you are closing all your doors in the quantum field. So letting go and going with the flow and trusting, this is really important, especially this year with energies changing. Okay, talks about having trajectories rather than goals. Says for the next 6 months I intend to follow a particular path. Yes, so depending on how you want to approach it, either trajectories or goals, whatever it is that you would like to. I think it's not the word that we use in itself. I think it's more about how we approach it with our emotions and views of how our approach towards something is. Yeah. So even if you have a trajectory and say, I want to work towards that and I want to achieve that, or want to, do that, we can still hold on to things if we are coming from the pressure of the ego. Yeah. So it's really important to practice non-attachment, not detachment, but non-attachment. So if it happens, great, I'm grateful. If it doesn't, that's okay. I'll keep moving until I actually get it. Yeah, so I'm not disappointed, even if it's not in 3 months, even if it's not in a year, but I know that I'm working towards it and I'm moving towards it, and I'm actually celebrating every step I do and make and create, and I'm actually gonna get there because I can feel it in my body. Yes, emotions and feelings are more important than time. We can collapse time. What do you do when healing crisis takes place, means any health issue crops up as resistance to progress? Okay. We have physical health a bit more next month, but we tend to think that physical health is any different than finances, or finances are any different than relationships, or relationships are any different than travel. Yeah. So everything is energy. I know it's hard. I know, because I've been there. When you're in pain, it's hard to have non-attachment because you're experiencing the pain. But I will share my experience if that helps you. So my pain was 12 out of 10. Yeah, majority of the month. To the point that I was passing out and vomiting and couldn't get out of bed. Yeah. And I needed to find a way to non-attach to it and not be in the vortex of, oh my God, what is happening with my body? I can't fix this. I can't change this. I can't move this. What am I doing? Right? Because those are the thoughts that are coming. Yeah. So with health issues, because they're on a physical, you feel them more. But that doesn't mean they're the strongest. So my strongest physical pain was actually emotional sourced. It was not the physical. I actually, after a few years, I was able to focus my mind and my thought to the point that I could actually reverse the pain in like 3 minutes. Yeah, energetically reverse the pain in 3 minutes. But when I reversed the physical pain, the emotional pain came up, because that's what was underneath the physical pain. And that was the strongest pain I would feel ever in my body in my life. Yeah. So my suggestion, this is just a suggestion, everyone's different. Try to be a detective hat on. Yeah. Try to find, what is my body trying to tell me? Because if you're in pain or health issues come up, your body is screaming at you. It's trying to tell you something is going on that needs attention. Sit with your body in silence. Start asking your body, start having a conversation with your body, and start building the trust so you understand what your body is telling you. A great book to start with is Ina Segal. She's Australian. The body, what is it? The Language of the Body, I think it is. Let me double check. I don't know. I'll find it. I'll post it into the group. You can go and look at her. She's beautiful and she has enormous knowledge and experience on this. And she gives you different parts of your body and tells you different emotional connections. And it gives you certain exercises on how to actually shift the energy within that space, to actually start moving that out, right? Because something is stuck. And you can also use Healy in order to help and support your health issues. Just let it go. I love it. Just let it go. I love this advice. We can't sometimes just let it go, right? Because sometimes we need a process. That's why we're here. The process of healing anything, the process of healing a relationship, the process of healing a relationship with yourself, the process of healing the physical body, the process of, body healing itself, the relationship with money, it doesn't really matter. It's a process. So meaning you're gonna go up and down, meaning you're going to fail. You are going to make mistakes, but those mistakes are actually your guidance towards where you want to go. They're teaching you, they're growing you in what you need to do. Letting go, just let it go, it doesn't work that way, right? We need to look at the cause, we need to look at the emotion behind it, we need to actually transform the emotion in order to let it go. Yeah, it doesn't happen on a mental level, it happens in the body. So physical exercises, movement to actually release the energy is really good. Self-doubt kills you when you want to work your well, if you allow it, it kills you. Yeah, so self-doubt is actually a great messenger. Yeah, so fear is actually teaching you. Self-doubt comes from fear. Fear teaches us where we are lacking and what we are actually needing. So we need to do the polar opposite. Embrace the shadow. Yes. Okay, let me see what. Heal your body. Yeah, Louise Hay is good as well. Language of your body. Thank you, Julie. Ina Segal, thank you. Yes. You're amazing. Posting the links for me. Yes, so Ina Segal, Language of Your Body. She's amazing. I have that book. It's my Bible as well on the body. But yeah, that's about it. Oh my God, half an hour over. Okay. I forgot vibrant frequency healing and forgot your name. Something.
I wanted to ask you, Petra, you said that in the settings to remove the negative, to add the negative relevance, right? So will that work also for clients? Like, because we have the unit, which is in my husband's name, and then I am registered as a client. So if I am doing intention, will this affect my intention also or only his? So when you do the settings, so when you do the settings on your Healy, right?
Yeah.
So there is me, who is the person that Healy belongs to, correct? The profile.
So the settings are for the Healy.
Okay.
So depending, so when you go into, if you have a Healy, yeah, and then you log into your blue app, yeah, you go and log in under you, yeah, but the settings are for the Healy.
Okay.
Yeah, so when you scan it through your account, you should have, for any person in your account, the negative relevances will come up.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you log in under your husband's account into the blue app, if he logs into the same Healy, if it's in the same app but just a different account, it might I'm not sure. You need to double check if it actually will go under the app or it will go directly on the Healy. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure for that one.
Okay.
But it should, so like if you have 100 people in your account, yeah, it will come up for every person you scan in that account that you've actually chosen the negative relevances for.
All right. Okay. So the settings is generally, yeah. Okay. Okay. I got it.
It's a general setting for the app for the Healy. Yeah.
All right. One more thing, once we put the intention, say we have not put the timeline, okay? And then you said that the energies do shift. So the percentage which you were explaining on Nisha's, affirmation, that if it is 98%, and then it came down to 60%, correct? So for that, if we have put the same intention, do we need to redo the analysis for the same after a few days? So your intention.
Yes, that's what I said.
Okay,
so that's what I said. You can do it either after a week, just use an interval that you want to work with, right? Either a week or a month or, I don't know, 2 weeks or whatever you want to choose. And then, vibrate every day for a week, for example. And then after a week, you do another scan with the same intention. And then you compare the percentages, you compare the intensity, you can see how the energy is shifting. And then you go, okay, I'm seeing changes. And then also observe that in your physical environment, what happens, what emotions are coming up, what situations are coming up, what's mirroring in your environment, right? We're working with energy. So, and then again, the scan that you're going to do after a week, vibrate that one for another week and then do another scan with the same intention because you're working on that area. Yeah.
Superb. Thank you so much.
Okay. You're welcome. Okay. Now we have been 30 minutes over and I'm so sorry for that. I've lost my time. And if there's any questions, the replay will be this time in our group, Facebook group. You'll get it through email as well. Please let me know if there's any questions. You can pop them into the group as well. I'll answer there. Hopefully the recording will be up tomorrow, if not at the beginning of next week. But if there's anything else you have, please pop it into the group. So I'll let you go tonight. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for coming. I am grateful for you for taking the time to come tonight. And I'll be seeing you next week when we're moving into the new month and more onto the physical body. Yeah. Have a great night, afternoon, evening, good morning, wherever you are. And I'll be seeing you next week, next Thursday. Thank you, Nisha, for joining and volunteering tonight. Bye-bye.